Good morning, everybody. Okay, so the first thing that we're going to do is open up Autodesk Inventor. So on your desktop, you're just going to double click the Autodesk icon, which is the orange letter I, and you're going to wait for it to open up. Okay, so one of the first things that we're going to do is I'm going to teach you how to save files so that they're easy to find. It's kind of disappointing when you can when you work really hard on a part and it doesn't work anyway, or you've worked really hard on a part and you don't save it to a place where you can find it again, and then you have to redesign it. Okay, so here we go with Autodesk Inventor, and it's going to open up. So watch here in the lower left-hand corner, okay, where I have my mouse. It says it's loading. And anytime the application is working, but it doesn't look like anything's happening, you'll see little messages pop up here. So if you ever try to open something and it doesn't look like something's happening, don't keep clicking it. If you've gotten the visual feedback that the button has been highlighted and you've clicked it and the button stops being highlighted, check this lower left-hand corner to see if something is going on there. So once you have Autodesk open, this is your home page. You can return here anytime. I'll show you how to find this. You can see below, I have lots of files that I've been working on or that I have worked on before. You won't have those because you haven't created anything yet, unless you already designed a part and you've saved it in a place that the computer can recognize. So what you're going to do first is you're going to click on New Part. And you'll notice that if you hover, notice right here, I clicked the button's highlighted, so I know it's clicked, and then on the lower left-hand corner, it says loading. So just loading all the visual tools here. And this is like a very hefty program, so just let it load. It's not unusual if it takes a moment or two. Okay. All right, so this is our home screen. This right up here, this white strip across the top of your screen, this is called the ribbon, okay? And the ribbon has tabs, so you can see all up here. And I encourage you to click around and just explore a little bit. You can see there's tons of tools here. It can get a little bit overwhelming when you've got all these tools, but just keep in mind we're really going to be focusing on the Sketch tab in the ribbon and the 3D model tab in the ribbon. So Sketch tab in the ribbon when you're sketching, and then the 3D model tab when you're 3D modeling and your sketch is completed. Okay, so what I'd like you to do, right here, what we're going to do is we're going to save this part. Before we even start, we're going to save this part. So you're going to click under, there's a couple of different ways you can save. You're going to click under File, and then you can click Save. If you want to make a copy, you can click Save As, but right now we're just going to hover over Save and then go click Save the active file. So I want you to do that. So you're going to go ahead and click Save, and then the place you're going to save it to is here. So it's asking you where you want to save this. It's very important for you to save it in a place where you're going to be able to access this again. So if you go into your desktop, it says it should default to the desktop. In my computer, it defaults to the desktop. So right here, you're going to click the drop-down menu, and it gives you all these other locations to save it to. Mine's a little bit different because I have administrator permissions here, so you might not have as many choices. So you're going to scroll down until you see an option that has your name on it. So if there's an option here that has your name on it, that's where you're going to want to save everything. So you can either save, I can save in Rebecca Kaplan on my desktop, but I'm going to just find one that has your name on it. Select, it doesn't matter which one because they're both in your network account. And then you're going to hover over these options on the right here. And if you just hover, it'll tell you what they mean. But what you're going to do is you're going to hover over the little folder that has little thing like the star on it. And it should say create new folder. So you're going to click on that and you're going to create a new folder and you're going to call it engineering. engineering, okay? And then you're going to rename the part. Don't call it part 1. You always want to make sure that your files have a logical name, because when you're doing an assembly or you're looking for a part, you don't want to have to open all these parts that are named like the thingamabob or whatever, because you might not remember what it is if you don't give it a descriptive name. And also, that means you have to open up all these files just to see. It's also a good idea if you're working on a part that's taking a longer time to design, you might want to put a date on that part of the design just so you know when the last time was you updated it. Okay? Or you can say version 1, version 2, things like that. So I'm going to call this a cube. Okay. We're going to start with cube, and you are going to put a couple of dashes at the end, and you're going to put your first initial and your last name. Okay, just so when you turn it into me, I'll know whose cube it was. And then you're going to click save. Okay. All right. So we haven't actually created a cube yet at all. We're just calling it cube. So you can see up here on the top, my file name has changed. So I know that I'm working on cube R Kaplan. On the left here on the bottom, you can see if I wanted to go back to that home tab, I could click home, and back to my cube, I can click that. So you can open many, many different parts at the same time. Right, and we're going to start creating that cube. Okay, so now that you're settled with that, I'm just going to stop this screencast, and you can start with the next.